I have always been a fan of Apple products. Since I got my first MacBook, I fell in love with the Apple products, and since then I have only used MacBooks and an iPhone. Let's be honest, they look great, they feel great, and they are so compact that you can simply ignore them. But then in 2015, I really wanted to try something new. I was looked in these ecosystems for so many years already, and I thought it's time to try something completely new, something that I am not familiar with at all. While I was hanging out with some friends, I realized that one of them had a new phone. The phone looked quite unfamiliar. In fact, I couldn't even recognize the brand, and when I asked him about it, he replied, "It's Xiaomi." To be honest, that was the first time I have ever heard about this brand. I had a difficult time pronouncing that name. I still can't pronounce properly. How do you call it? Xiaomi, Xiaomi. Always after the playing with the phone for a few minutes and then finding out its price. I was amazed because I didn't think that you could get such a great phone for such a price. The next day, I ordered the exact same phone, which was Redmi Note 2nd. And to be honest, it was too good for the $150. After paying after playing with it for sometimes the questions that crossed my mind was how on earth does this company makes money when they are selling such a great phone for such a low price. After digging into the company, I was shocked because the company was launched in 2010 and they have achieved incredible success in such a short period of time. By 2014, they were the leading smartphone manufacturer by the number of the sales in China, beating everyone else. I mean, with the release of iPhone, some of the greatest players in the industry almost went bankrupt because they simply couldn't stay competitive. Remember Nokia? They literally went from hero to zero. And then a Chinese company come up and within 5 years surpassed even Apple in the Chinese and become one of the major players in the global market. So let's take a look at the Xiaomi's business models and figuring out how did they achieve such an incredible success in such a short period of time. We should complain about how phone prices are going up, but we don't usually understand the hidden cost that phones requires before they reach our hands. Companies spend billions just to let you know that they exist or keep you aware of their latest products. But at the end of the day, we the customers have to pay for that. However, Xiaomi has found ways to sell its products at an unbelievable low price. Instead of having the multi-billion-dollar marketing budget, the company does very little advertising and relies on the social media. To reduce the cost further, they don't spend a fortune opening up stores around the world. A third hiring thousands of the people and only sell their products online directly to customers by cutting out the middleman. The companies could further lower their prices and by implementing just-in-time manufacturing strategy. The company doesn't need to maintain the huge inventory. The logic was simple: building great phones for extremely affordable price that would simply attract everyone. And guess what? It worked and makes Xiaomi one of the major players in the smartphone industry within a few years. But that's just the part of the story because the other part is Xiaomi sells their smartphones nearly at their cost of the productions and often doesn't make any profit. It doesn't mean Xiaomi is such a knowledgeable company that doesn't care about profit, but rather they have the completely different business models. Instead of making a profit when they sell the products, they would rather make a profit when you use the products to buy the selling services, ads, and so on. So smartphones are like the trap to get you into the Xiaomi's ecosystems, because besides just selling your services, Xiaomi sells like everything. In fact, if you are not familiar with the company's strategy, it seems like they are selling whatever comes into their mind, from electrical scooters to rice cookers. I wouldn't be surprised if one day they start selling Xiaomi cars or jets. It might seem like the completely new business models, but it's not because companies like the Google have had the exact business models since their inceptions. Google doesn't charge you when you use Gmail, Google Maps, Google Drives, but they constantly sell you ads and other services like storage on the Google Drive. Of course, their sales figures have been in the decline in the recent years, but they are not the only one because the entire smartphone market is deteriorating, but their rapid growth was given them to the global awareness. To build such a brand, it's easy imagine to the number of the skills that you need to master, but every business starts with an idea. Most importantly, you should be able to present the idea in such a way that it would inspire others to take actions. And one of the most qualified people to teach you that is the Simon Spag. You probably have seen this his TED talks or came across his books. Starts with why and goes that. He has a brilliant courses on Skillshare that you should watch if you ever want to turn that idea into the reality. You can get it course for free if you are one of the first 78 people to use the links in the description.